You've been programmed like everybody else. The point is to get you into the mindset that killing, stealing, etc. is wrong, even though that's what the enlightened ones do because it's natural and they worship nature. That's the only way to be happy. They have built a perfect system for themselves where they can have human hunting parties, rape and torture dungeons, babies for breakfast, beating up and raping their victims. Just because there will be little to no consequences for them. It's human nature. Why don't most of us do it? Not because we don't want to, but because we are afraid of the consequences that will be enforced by other humans. It's slavery.
Mr. Mohan, we've already covered how the promotion of child sex abuse material is something that can't go on a social media platform by way of law. And there's even a duty to report such things to the NCMEC, and how YouTube and Google already do so. They even have implemented specific tech that they created to do so, which means they already are in the business of consistently acting as a state actor and doing that. So we've already been over that. Some other things that are a little bit more, there are some gray areas and it's more nuanced on what you do or don't have to do, are interesting to look at as well. This case literally has everything, every kind of issue that you could raise. And let's look at one of the smaller ones right now, the terms of service and how they're enforced or not enforced on your platform. And is that a problem for you in this case? Well, when social media companies enforce their terms of service inconsistently and it involves serious misconduct like threats or fugitives profiting from the platform profiting from fugitives, there are regulatory frameworks that come into play there. So the terms of service are a contract between all of the users and the platform. They are considered private contracts. They're legally binding. Courts hold up that, if you haven't read the terms of service, you're still bound to uphold them. If you're a user, for example. So that's it. It is a contract. But when does inconsistent enforcement of the rules become a problem for you? Because you're not required by way of law to enforce the rules uniformly, actually. So a lot of people don't know that. And that's because, each instances might be a little bit different. Times change. And when we're talking about things that aren't that serious, you don't want people to have, these silly, frivolous issues that they can, make a big deal out of and say, hey, they didn't, consistently enforce this rule or that rule. But when we're talking about your action of not enforcing the rules, violating serious civil rights law, or that failure to enforce them leads to foreseeable harm, and that word foreseeable is really important, and in this case it does. For example, allowing a known fugitive to profit off of the platform while they're evading arrest, to incite violence. Those Goatis edit archive videos are pretty violent. And, we have a history here of violence. It's not like you're in the dark on what he's wanted for. And it's not crime committed off of YouTube, as the representatives for YouTube said in their answer to my petition and to my brief. That's an absolute lie. It's crime committed right in the open on the platform. And even down to the smallest of the crimes, which is the kind of content he's producing being against your terms of service. When we get into the area, though, of by not enforcing those rules and taking him off, he is evading arrest, raising money, and still out there posing a threat of terroristic harm against a child and possibly CSA against another child. That's where it comes into play, where you have liability by your knowledge.